Hey dudes, I'm Hilah, and today on Hilah Cooking, we are gonna learn how to cook rice. I know it's super simple, but this is actually a question I get from a lot of people, so I just wanted to make a quick video, talk a little bit about different types of rice, and then show you how to cook rice on the stove without a rice cooker. It's really not very hard once you just know a couple of things. There's three basic categories of rice: short grain, medium grain, and long grain. There's also glutinous rice, but I think that actually counts as short grain. Examples of short grain rice are sushi rice. So this one here, you can see how short and fat and kind of plump those grains are, and they're a little bit translucent. And then next to it, I've got some arborio rice, and that's what you would use if you were gonna make risotto. They're the same size as the sushi rice grains, but they're much more opaque because they have a higher starch content, and that's why when you make the risotto, that starch releases and it makes a nice creamy sauce. And then here we've got a long grain brown rice. You can really get any kind of rice, short, medium, or long, in brown rice form. It just means it's just got the husk still on it. So it's got a little bit more fiber. Some people think it might be harder to digest, but I like it. It's got a good flavor. It takes longer to cook than white rice. You can get short grain, like sushi rice, brown rice too. And then what we're actually gonna learn how to cook today is long grain white rice. So this is just a really sort of generic long grain rice. You can get specialty varieties of long grain like jasmine, basmati, Texmati is a basmati rice that's grown in Texas, and those are a lot more fragrant. There's a popcorn rice that's from Louisiana. They have a nice sort of floral flavor to them, or nutty, but for like most American food that you want to serve rice with, like if you're making meatballs with gravy and you want to put it over rice or something, you just want long grain white rice. And then bonus, since I'm going to probably get this question, this is an example of wild rice. So wild rice actually is not a rice, it is a grass seed, but it's cooked like rice, and it has a similar texture and flavor to brown rice once it's cooked. We'll get to that in another video. So how to cook rice. You want to combine it in a pot. The ratio would be 1 cup of white rice to 2 cups of water. You can season it with a little bit of salt, some butter, some olive oil. You can also add spices like cardamom or bay leaves or cinnamon if you want to like infuse the rice with a little bit more flavor. So you combine the rice and the water in the pot, you cover it, you put the heat on high, and you bring it to a boil. Now, if you are using a gas stove, you can do it just like I'm telling you now. If you're using an electric stove, what I recommend is turn it to high, but then also have another eye that's preheating on the lowest setting so that when it's time to transfer it, you can just move it right to the low setting rather than waiting for the eye to cool down. So once it comes to a boil, you want to turn the heat down to low and you want to simmer it for 15 minutes. Don't stir it, don't take the lid off. Once it's cooked for 15 minutes, a glass lid is really helpful because you can see there's little holes in the rice where the steam has sort of come up and made little tunnels. Once the rice is cooked and it looks like that, you want to just leave it off the heat for 10 minutes. By then your rice should be nice and cooked, and you can fluff it with a fork. Fork is preferable because a spoon can kind of break the rice up too much and give you gummy rice. Gummy rice, that's delicious. Not really. Okay, it's fluffed, it's ready to eat. Check it out. So it's tender all the way through, there's not any crunchy bits, it's not burned on the bottom. If you have a problem with rice sticking to the bottom or burning or scorching, make sure that the pot that you're cooking it in has a nice thick bottom. You don't want to use any kind of crappy aluminum pots. And then also remember the trick I told you if you're using an electric stove to transfer it to another low heat burner so that you're not boiling it for longer than you should. If your rice ends up crunchy, then you're probably not using enough water or not cooking it long enough. And if it ends up mushy, then you're probably using a little bit too much water or boiling it too long. So if you like these tips, this is the kind of stuff that you find useful. I have written a cookbook called Learn to Cook. and it's got everything the beginner cook needs to know. It's perfect for teenagers and young adults and even old adults who need some tips. And for some other videos on how to cook rice, I did risotto for a basic risotto recipe using arborio rice, and also sushi rolls where I tell you how to cook sushi rice. So please check those out. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Would you like a bite of rice? Let's see if you can eat off of a fork. No, he can't. He cannot eat off of a fork. Oh, Daisy wants a piece. Come here, Daisy. Can you do better? Daisy did a little bit better. You little doofuses. I love you. I love you, puppies.